What's up, guys? How y'all doing? Have you heard of the tragedy of Darth Object 268 version 4? Have you heard of it? Have you heard of it? I'm a bit late to the party with this. You know, I had no idea that this tank was released in such a nerfed state that it is completely pointless. That is, it's pretty much, this tank is now just a novelty tank. There's not hardly any reasons to grind for this tank. And when you compare it to the other Soviet TDs, I mean, it has 650 alpha. What's the point of 650 alpha? You might, I mean, that's kind of doable. No, my heavy tank object 705A has 650 alpha, and to me that's, oh my god. But for the TD, when you compare it to the 268, which has 850 alpha and almost the same rate of fire, why would you go for this tank? Why would you not go for the 268? When you look at the 263, which is stayed at tier 10, only 550 alpha, you know, lowest amount of alpha compared to the other two, but almost twice the firing rate. Yeah, I mean, there's not that much reason to go for this tank. The tank line leading up to this tank is pretty decent. You know, there's lots of pretty decent gems there. You know, the SU-12254, fantastic machine, you know, at tier 9. But that's not really a reason why, you know, to get a tier 10. This tank, I think, will continuously be put on the back burner with the release of the next brand new shiny tank line. You know, we just had the Italian autoloaders. They've just released Swedish mediums. You know, so it'll just continuously be put on the back burner, or not even bothered to be put on the list of tier 10 tanks to get, in my personal opinion, because originally, I'm guessing there was a vision for this tank on PC, and you have to go through certain steps, policies, you know, abide by policies, procedures to get the tank approved, the stats, etc., etc. And then it's put onto the test server, and then it's put onto the live server, and then they discovered it was, you know, way OP, and then they nerfed it, and now it's, I'm guessing, it's kind of balanced. I'm saying, you know, I don't know. But what they did with this tank when they released it on console, it's a tragedy. It's nothing compared to the original vision of the tank. You know, there wasn't I'm guessing, an original vision for this tank, a quick, nimble, fast little TD. And why not? You know, there's room for a quick, nimble, little, fast TD. Is there? Yeah, why not? You know, but for them to just nerf it into oblivion when it comes to the speed, etc., etc. Well, what's the point of bringing this tank into the game? There is absolutely no point. It's just a novelty tank. There's no point in anybody really grinding for this tank when you compare it to the other Soviet TDs, and when you compare it to the other TDs in general at tier 10. There's no point, you know. There's absolutely no point. On PC they nerfed the engine. It was originally 1500 to 1350. We get it for 800. I mean, that's like 40-50%. I mean, it's not 50% nerf, but it's like a 40% nerf, half of it. Yeah, it's 50% nerf, whatever. You know, that brings your horsepower to ton ratio down to 11.33. Currently on PC it's at 18. Aim time they nerf. Accuracy they nerf. You know, the speed is the main thing. The speed we're getting it's been nerfed to 50 kilometers per hour. We're getting 26. Reverse is 18 on PC, and this is after they've nerfed it from its original state. We're getting it at 8. You know, and it's such. What is the point? You have to make us want to get a tier 10 tank. there has to be certain things. And granted, the armor at the front is fantastic, and I bounce a lot of shots in this game, etc., etc. I do use my armor, and there is a sense of come on, come at me. You're not gonna pen me. But so there's some positives to the tank, but they're tiny, they're minuscule, they're microscopic compared to twice the rate of fire on a 263. I just screw up with this Panzerwagen. I don't screw up, I'm just like trying to. This is one of my first games in this thing, and yeah, I'm doing my best here. Please, yeah. But he bounced, yeah. But it is a bit of a tragedy. We have to have a reason to go for that tier 10 tank, you know. We have to. There needs to be a reason. Then the YouTubers will make the vids and tell you what are those reasons. But and it says a lot that I'm making a vid for a tier 10 tank and advising you guys this tank is a POS. It's just not worth it. You know, for the time and effort you're gonna put into grinding all the way to tier 10. And like I said before, it's an enjoyable grind. I enjoyed the grind leading up to what was the 263. I enjoyed getting back into the SU 12254. I enjoyed replaying that tank, regrinding that tank for the 268 version for this tank. Absolutely. But this, yeah, it's just novelty tank, and yeah, it's just nothing. Go and take the shot. Take the shot. There's just it's a bit of a, yeah, it's a bit of a screw up, a cock up, and then some, I'd say. It's kind of odd, severely odd that they do this, because yes, I watched the Quickie Baby vid and he compared it to the release in its original form to the Waffentrager E100, and we're allowed to keep the Waffentrager E100. Not only are we allowed to keep it, we're allowed to keep it without any nerfs. I mean, they at least tried to nerf the Waffentrager E100 on PC, but even when they nerfed it and they took one shell away, I think, they decided, nah, this is still not working, and they took it out of the game and they replaced it with the Gorilla 15. But here we get the equivalent of the Waffentrager, which we decide to keep, and we decide, no, PC hasn't got it right. We know what we're doing. We're a different game. It's just, there's so much scratching over the head with this tank. I don't know. Yeah. Haven't got a clue. Don't ask me. I just work here. Yeah. Yeah. Bounce. Yeah. See, I know what I'm doing, kind of. Take your time. Take your time. No. It's not going to work. No. But, yeah, so, ladies and gentlemen, let's end this vid early. I'll let the game play out. 268 version 4. Nah, it's just nah. Anyway, take it easy, guys. Adios, muchachos.